everyone, welcome back to ReadaRoo Kids. My name is Miss Kristi, and today we're going to read a book about a boy who's a little bit nervous to make friends, but how a costume makes him a little bit brave. It's called A Tiger Called Tomás. Let's find out how this costume makes him feel a lot better about himself. A Tiger Called Tomás by Zolotow and Marta Alvarez Miguens. There once was a little boy named Tomás. He was very nice. But when he and his family moved to a new house on a new street, he took it into his head that the new people might not like him. So he never left his stoop. "Why don't you play with that little girl Marie?" his mama asked him. "Maybe she wouldn't like me," Tomás said. "Of course she'd like you," his mama said. "Why wouldn't she? ¿Por qué no?" But Tomás didn't answer. "Why don't you visit the lady with the black cat down the street?" his mama asked. "They might not like me," Tomás said. "Of course they'd like you. Why shouldn't they like you? ¿Por qué no?" said his mama. But Tomás didn't go. "That tall boy named Gerald looks lonely," his mama said. "I don't think he'd like me," said Tomás. "Of course he'd like you," said Tomás's mama. "Why shouldn't he like you? ¿Por qué no?" Everybody likes you. But Tomás wouldn't leave his stoop. He sat there and watched when Marie played hopscotch. He sat there and watched the old woman's cat as it prowled through the grass and shrubs. He sat there and watched when Gerald walked past the house, and he thought about how tall he was. "Oh, Tomás," said his mama, "everyone will like you. Why don't you go play?" But Tomás shook his head and just sat on the steps, watching. The lady in the house across the street was always out in her yard, watering the plants, raking the leaves, sweeping the walk, picking flowers. And all the while, Tomás sat on his stoop and watched. He watched the old man who came up the street with his big black poodle 3 times a day. The poodle always looked over its shoulder at Tomás, and its tail stood up like a small palm tree and wagged from side to side. But Tomás just sat on his steps and watched them pass. He watched the sparrows and grackles and the blue jays in the trees. He watched the black cat look up at the sparrows and grackles and blue jays, but he never went off the stoop to play. On Halloween, his mama came home with a tiger costume for him. "Try this on," she said. Tomás put on the orange and black striped suit with its quilted tail. He put on the mask with its long whiskers. "How do I look?" he asked his mama. "Exactly like a tigre," she said. Tomás looked in the mirror and his mama was right. "No one will know who I am when I go trick-or-treating," he said. There was a large orange moon in the sky, and it was already getting dark when Tomás went out. The branches of the trees hardly showed, except where they laced across the moon. He crossed the street to the house of the old lady who was always outside. The chrysanthemums were still blooming in front of her house. "Trick or treat," Tomás called when he came to the door. "Well, hello," the lady said. She dropped a package of orange candies into his bag. "Happy Halloween." "Thank you," answered the tiger. "You're welcome, Tomás," the lady said, closing the door. Under his mask, Tomás flushed. "That's funny," he said to himself. She called the tiger Tomás. At the next house, he rang the bell. "Trick or treat," he called. Marie's mother opened the door. She had candy apples for the treat. "Oh, thank you," the tiger said, for he especially liked candy apples. "You're welcome," said Marie's mother. "Marie is a witch tonight. Maybe you'll pass her. But anyway, come play hopscotch here tomorrow, Tomás." "Thank you," Tomás said again. But when the door closed, he reached up to feel his mask. It was on, covering his whole face. "That's funny," he thought. "She knew who I was, too." He passed a tall ghost going up to the house as he left. He couldn't see the ghost's face, but there was something very familiar about his figure. "Hi, Tomás," said the ghost. "Want to play horseshoes tomorrow? I got a new set." "Sure," said Tomás. The ghost was Gerald. Tomás could tell by the height. He went to the old man's house. The black poodle threw back his head and barked wildly when he saw the tiger at the door. But when he sniffed at the tiger's feet and sniffed at the tiger's quilted tail, he suddenly put up his own palm tree tail and wagged it hard. "Trick or treat," the tiger said. The old man had made big pumpkin cookies. "Fresh baked, Tomás," he said, winking as he dropped one in the bag. "Best thing for tigers," he added, and winked again as he watched the tiger go down the steps. He called the tiger Tomás too, thought Tomás. Now he rang the bell at the house of the old lady and the black cat. "Trick or treat," he called. Come in," the old woman said. Her black cat looked curiously at the tiger, and the tiger reached out to stroke the cat's slippery fur. "He loves that," the little old lady laughed. "Come play with him again, Tomás," she said. "He gets lonely." "So do I," said Tomás. She knew, too. He thought to himself as he turned toward home. The orange moon was a little higher in the sky. The sky was a little blacker than before. He couldn't see any of the branches against it now. A group of ghosts and goblins were coming down the steps of the lady across the street, and a solitary but familiar-looking witch with her broom under her arm passed him. He looked at her curiously as he walked slowly towards the steps of his house. It was Marie. "Hi, Tomás," called Marie. Tomás walked upstairs to his own room. He looked in the mirror at the tiger. At the tigre. The tigre in the mirror looked back at him, whiskers and all. "Have a good time?" asked his mama. "How did they know who I was?" Tomás asked. "Did they?" said his mama. "Yes," Tomás said. "The mask didn't fool them a bit, and they all asked me to come back." "I guess they all like you," his mama said. Tomás looked at her. Suddenly, he felt wonderful. Maravilloso! "Oh, I like them too," he said. And when he took off the mask, he was smiling. I loved reading with you today. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up below. If you want to see all of the books we read in the future, make sure to click the subscribe button. We have activities to go along with all the books we read. To access them, all you have to do is click the ReadaRoo Kids link below in the description, or you can just head over to our website. There we do games, puzzles, and even some science experiments. If you'd like to get free activities, you can follow us on all of our social media. I loved reading with you today, and I hope that we can read together again soon. Until then, ReadaRoo loves you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.